2.5 years to make $37,000, but I made that in 4 months. My grandmother didn't have an opportunity like I have. She didn't have the phone. She didn't have the internet to completely change her life. Many years ago, my dad told me something that absolutely changed my life. He told me, if you're not a millionaire by 30, you failed. In the back of my head, I'm like, hold up, are you a millionaire? You telling a 17-year-old that, right? But day by day and month by month, I understand more what he means. So making $1 million in 2024, 2025, whenever you're watching this video, is the easiest it's ever been of all time. Making millions with an S. It's the easiest time to make it of all time. Because we got something like this, the phone, right? But this thing is so powerful that it can change our life or it can ruin our life. Because we could be intentional or we can be distracted. And it's up to us to choose. So about 2 or 3 days ago, my grandmother turned 96 years old. God is amazing. Thank God. Shout out great granny. So she was telling us a story that she was picking cotton all day for 50 cents a day. Think about that, right? She's going out there doing hard labor for 50 cents a day just to make a living. And it wasn't a good living at 50 cents a day. Of course, inflation has been rampant. 50 cents a day now is definitely way less than the value it was back then. But 50 cents is not anything. That motivated the crap out of me because that told me my grandmother didn't have an opportunity like I have. She didn't have the phone. She didn't have the internet to completely change her life. So in this video, I'm going to show you why if you're 25 right now, you should be outpacing a 50-year-old when it comes to the game of wealth. Because 50 years ago, they didn't have the opportunities you have now. So one, let's say me and Michael Jordan did a shooting competition when he was in his prime. Or let's say, this is a better example. So let's say me and Michael Phelps did a swimming competition and we had to go 300 meters. Who's going to win, me or Michael Phelps? You might say, well, of course, Michael Phelps, right? I was on the swim team in middle school. Not in high school, but in middle school. I can swim a little bit, but I ain't no Michael Phelps. So I would say I would win the race, though, if the goal was to get in water 300 meters. Or let's say, 300 meters. Who would get there first? Well, hey, I'll be on a jet ski, and he'll be swimming. So I'm going to get there first, right? A lot of y'all are swimming, expending all that energy when y'all can just get on a jet ski and get there faster. Dylan, what do you mean? Your vehicle on how you generate income matters, right? Your vehicle on how you generate income is probably the most important thing. Because let's say, for example, when I first started and, making money, I was working for $7.25 an hour. I was working for $7.25 an hour in 2019. My first real estate deal, 4 months later I started working, was $37,000. It would have took me 2.5 years to make $37,000, but I made that in 4 months. Think about that. And I was working harder when I was making the $7.25 an hour. A lot of you are working harder to make change when you could work easier to make a fortune. We need to focus on things that's going to make us a fortune. So the Bible says wisdom is worth more than gold. Then why are you bringing up the Bible on here? First, because we have to understand principle. in order to understand how the world works. The Bible is absolute truth, right? So when I look at principles, I go back to the Bible to see what do I have to do and how do I need to adjust. Focusing on the 725 an hour is worrying about the money. But Jalen, I need the money. I gotta pay bills. I gotta pay bills. I understand it, right? I understand it. But when I was making 725 an hour, that check was rolling in every 2 weeks. You know, I had a little bit of the slum on me. It wasn't a lot. But when I made 37K in 4 months, I didn't see a check for 4 months. But guess what? In this process of the $37,000, I was gaining wisdom. So wisdom outpaced money, right? Wisdom outpaced me focusing on, dang, I got to pay this gas bill. But, you know, let me go back to that job that I was doing. Let me go back to that job. I got to pay this. Stay in the fight, y'all. Stay in the fight. Focus on this wisdom. It's going to produce fruit over time. So a standard apple tree, it takes 4 to 8 years for it to start producing fruit. What does that tell me? Because we have to understand principles in life to understand how life works. It doesn't say it takes 5.5 years, 5 years and 6 months to produce an apple. It's a range. So what does that tell us? When you are going to start producing fruit, you don't know when that's going to happen. Because even trees don't have a set time on when it's going to start producing fruit. So stay in the fight, stay in the game, right? So the first thing is understanding principles that we need to understand to win the game of wealth as a 25-year-old versus a 50-year-old. Understanding principles. Another thing we have to understand is, like I said earlier, we have the internet. We have phones. We have technology. So I'll pick that up later. So what does that tell us? That we have a way better opportunity than people who 50, 60, 70 years old. Again, my grandmother was working 50 cents, picking cotton all day to make a living, but she didn't have access to the internet. Right now, you can make money by getting on TikTok, getting on YouTube, getting on all these platforms, and they'll pay you to produce content. But a lot of people overdo that. If you like cooking, just start cooking and turn the camera on. If you work out, start working out and turn the camera on and start selling how to get fit, right? That's a way you can generate money. I started in real estate using the internet. And also my phone, I was making calls all day. So I didn't have to do that hard labor like my great grandmother. All I had to do was get on my phone and make calls. You can make cold calls if you're in real estate, if you're in insurance. But a lot of y'all are too lazy to even make a call. Like that blows my mind. When we have the opportunity we have now, you don't even want to make no call. When our ancestors had to fight, had to scratch, didn't get the opportunities we have now, you scared to make a call. Come on now. So get in that dog mode, get in that work ethic mode that, dang, I have an opportunity because I can call people. I can connect with people across the world. I can make content. What's another thing you can do? I also trade the foreign exchange markets, right? So you can start generating money by just clicking the button, buy or sell, learning how markets move, stock market, Forex, learn how markets move and start generating income. There's so many ways that this right here gives us to generate money. But we have to stop focusing on distraction. And start focusing on intention. What does that mean? We have the opportunity to either watch the basketball game tonight or educate ourselves. We have the ability to watch a YouTube podcast or be on TikTok scrolling all day. Which one you go choose? You have the ability to choose your future. When you laser focus on intention, I would educate myself instead of entertaining myself. You will start seeing the fruit, right? So even if you have a job right now, it's nothing wrong with that. But on your off time when you off, don't be trying to kick your feet up and watching LeBron James or watching freaking Patrick Mahomes. Focus on educating yourself because your family will thank you tremendously. They will thank you tremendously. So again, we have the internet, we have phones, but that poses a great threat. You choose how it's going to impact your life. Let me pick up this dry erase right quick. So the next thing we have to do is understand. But Jalen, I don't like Forex. I don't like real estate. Your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will make room for you. So like I said earlier, if you like to work out and you're super fit, turn on the camera on and start selling it. Whatever your gift is, it'll make room for you. Another thing, we have to start giving. Hold on, what he talking about? I thought we were trying to make money on here. You talking about giving? Yes, because we have to understand the law of it. The law of it, Jalen. I came on this thing to make some money, and you talking about laws. You talking about principles. I thought, I thought I was gonna get something different. But what is the law of it? Give, and it shall be given unto you. Okay. The law of it means that whatever you give will be given unto you and multiplied. So if you want more kindness, if you want to be more kind, or you want people to be more kind to you, give that out. If you want more love, give more love out. It's going to come back. If you want more money, give more money out and it's going to come to you. Even if you got $2 to your name, give out a quarter. Because when you give it, God is going to bring it back to you multiplied. So you have to understand that whatever you're giving, but if you're giving, oh, I don't want to help people. I don't want to impact people. I don't want to, I'm broke right now. I got to save my little change. Well, the only thing that's going to come back to you is desperation. The only thing that's going to come back to you is people telling you no all the time. God not going to give it back to you because you are not being a conduit of his blessing, meaning we can use you, but you're being a cul-de-sac, meaning that he's giving you blessing and it's only staying in your realm, only staying to you. Be a conduit and stop being a cul-de-sac. When you start being a conduit and start being a cul-de-sac, when you stop being a cul-de-sac and start being a conduit, watch how blessings start rolling in because God knows he can use you for what he needs to do to advance his kingdom. It's going to happen if you do it or not. He don't need you, right? His will be done. But if you want him to use you, show him that you can bless other people. Show him that you can bless other people. So that's how you can win the game of wealth, understanding principles, understanding the opportunity we have in this generation with the phones, with the internet, understanding that our vehicle to get there is important because they didn't have certain vehicles back in the day that we have now. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all on the flip side. Y'all have a good one. Let's go.